decide to give up on a dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also do have to understand that, dogs are different. Like Gibson, Bubs, he was a big time cuddle guy. He wanted to be on top of you, with his face buried, under cover, with you. You know what I mean? He didn't care how hot it was. He was just going to stay there. But, Mac, our dog that we have now, he loves being around us, but he doesn't like to cuddle, and like every now and then he does. And it's like, oh, he did it. But, they have preferences too,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to necessarily play fetch. They don't necessarily have to, be cuddle monsters. They have their unique wants and needs, and we have to respect that. We have to speak their language. And again, I think when it comes back to, people adopting and having, and failing at that, and then having to return the dog, a lot of it is, it's not just about education. It's also about consideration. Again, like, get the dog for the right situation. Don't bring a giant, dog into a small apartment complex in New York City. It's we want to be fair, and it's important that we're really taking them into account.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think also what you're saying, Angela, about ridiculous expectations is so true. And I love how you were comparing it with the toddler, because I do that a lot as well. And I always get told off by but it's not a person. Yeah, but still, like, why are we, and wanting fast results, because that's just who we are, as people. I think that's another thing that, I have that with Sparky because he is now getting older. I don't know if that's the same for you, Jason, with senior dogs, but it's like, I'm also always like very impatient and come on, let's go. And then I'm like, Sparky just makes me go slower. It's like, okay, I'll slow down. Okay.
I love it.
It's good. It's really good.
Slowing down, it's so true. But it's just like, what, if it takes you 5 yawns and, a good tug on your collar to get you to finally get off the couch and like get in your 7-inch thick, foam bed, then like, that's cool, man. Like, you take your time. The other night I said to Michaelina, I said, we should just leave him out on the couch and see what he does, like, because he won't stay there. Eventually he'll get off and he'll walk into the bedroom and he'll lay on his bed. He knows, he just wants to play the game.
Yeah, that's it. It's totally.
He wants to know you love him and that you want him there. He wants the invite,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, Sparky's definitely, you can just tell that he gets a little slower now, and it's like slowing me down, and I am enjoying it more and more also, just like, because I think you also grow with them, like you grow with the dogs, like you change, especially for me and Sparky. Like Sparky and I, we've lived in I don't know how many countries together, and we literally spent like, nearly 12 and a half years together, like day in, day out. So it's kind of, yeah, everything together, and so it's so nice also. I always think of that like, oh yeah, he's really seen it all, and we've done it all together, like it's kind of special. It's really, really special. So no, it's really good what you're saying. And I could speak to you guys for 3 more hours, but I'll slowly round it up. Especially Angela has some dogs to entertain. And people
are sleeping right now.
Okay. Oh, good. They're all sleeping. That's good. That's good. See, you're such a dog whisperer, Angela. You just got it in you. You just got it in you. Yeah. So we were just talking about like the sort of failures and stuff. Would you say there's also like just some no-goes, like to when people think of adoption, like, I don't know if we can say like, oh, you need to have this and you need to have that, but is there a few things that you're like, maybe you're not ready if this and this and this is not on your list of living or something like that? Like, what are some really no-go things when it comes to adoption?
I think the first thing would be if you're not ready to commit for their life.
Mm-hmm.
If you are wishy-washy, or if you think that, well, I think it'd be cool to have a dog, you're not ready for a dog. And that's where I would say, go volunteer, go hang out with some friends that have dogs. Maybe take, some shelters or in the U.S. They're doing more programs where you can take a dog or, a shelter dog for a day or a weekend to give them a break from the shelter. Try something like that. Then try fostering and see how that goes. So if you're on the fence at all, if you have any big moves, big changes in your life coming up, maybe hold off. If you are going to, a big thing one of the big reasons we see a lot of people giving up their dogs is because they're going to have a baby.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, if you think in the next year or two that you want to have a baby, do one of two things. Either really, really plan and, when you adopt a dog, look for a dog that is kid friendly. Expose them to a bunch of kids, expose them to babies, stuff like that to really prepare them for when you bring your newborn home. Or wait, if you're, so any big changes, moving across the country, maybe hold off because those changes affect our dogs. A lot of dogs, just like us, if they have change after change after change, especially big life changes, it can drastically change their behavior and really make things difficult. So yeah, if you're not quite ready, or if you're not 100% on board or ready for a dog, don't do it. If you're going to have any really big changes coming up, hold off. And then, like Jason said in the beginning, when we first started talking, really assess your lifestyle, not only your current lifestyle, but what you want your lifestyle to be. You should not bring, a husky or a working breed, a high energy dog into a home where you just want to be couch potatoes. Your dog is going to wreak havoc. You are not going to be happy with the dog, and that's when the dog's going to be, left homeless. So really look at what you want in a dog. Maybe do some research, talk to trainers, find somebody, follow dog people, anything like that to really kind of see what it's going to be like to have a dog, what kind of dog would be best for you. Look for what will be best for you, not like Jason said, just because, the dog's cute or cuddly or furry or, I really like this breed, so I'm going to get it. I love fully breeds. I am aware, though, that they limit where I can live in the U.S. and actually in the world. I'm prepared for that. I have an insurance company for my homeowner's insurance that I pay more for, so because they don't discriminate against breed. But you have to be aware of things like that, and you have to be willing to make whatever sacrifices needed. I'm not going to move to a place and then ditch my dogs because, pit bulls aren't welcome there. I'm not going to move there. So you really have to be in it for the long haul and they are family. Would you dump your kid because your kid made a mistake? Would you take them to, an orphanage or whatever and just say, they punched a kid at school, I'm done? Most of us wouldn't. So why is it okay and why is it so acceptable for us to do that to our dogs?
Yeah. And do you come across, Angela, in your experience with people as well? Like, do you also? I had the feeling because I've fostered a lot, and I've done a lot of pit bull rescues. So I kind of got a nose after a while for like, yeah, you're not ready for this dog. Like you kind of. Do you feel like when people do you just know straight away, like, yeah, this person is such a yes, or this person might be a no? Like, do you?
Yeah. So I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, which is kind of a problem.
Yeah.
But yes, there's oftentimes that gut feeling where you're just like, I don't know about this. And that's why a lot of times, a lot of people they get upset with rescues, especially when rescues are kind of busy, like especially the first few months of COVID. Rescues were overrun with adoptions and adoption applications. And so people were getting really frustrated. Like, I'm not even getting a response from the rescue. I keep, every dog that I want keeps already being adopted, stuff like that. Part of the reason that rescues, that it might be a bit harder and you have to be a bit more patient and persistent with rescues is because they really they try their hardest to put a lot into finding the perfect home, the right home for that dog. Most good rescues, they are not it's not a first come, first serve basis. It's about, that's why there are, interviews and background checks and meet and greets and, that type of thing. But even with the most stringent home checks and stuff, people will still slip through that aren't the right fit. So you can never be 100% sure about everything. Yeah. But there are certain things that rescues look for and fosters look for. And they want to make sure that dog is going to be right for you, and that you're going to be right for that dog, So I kind of got off topic, I think.
No. I definitely, we're still with you. We're still with you. That's really good, actually. But Jason, would you say, is there some other requirements also for senior dogs, or is it sort of some of the stuff that Angela was just mentioning, or would you say, like, is there any, can you add anything on also for when it comes to senior dogs?
Well, I think with senior dogs, you know, again, it's lifestyle, right? Because you're gonna have to take them with you, right? Or you're gonna really need to have a good support system, right? With people who are willing to stay with the dog, and you know, with seniors, because they can kind of get a little bit more anxious sometimes. You know, you want to make sure that you know, these are people that you're having the same people come around, and you know, the same people watch them often. And to be quite frank with you, if you adopt a senior dog, you need to understand that you're going to have some medical expenditures that may be coming pretty quickly around the corner, and there's more of an upkeep. Or you might just have an oopsie daisy where, you know, Mac, our dog, went ahead and ate a bottle cap and a decorative rock, and $4,000 later, you know, but you know, those things happen, and and the truth is, you have to prepare for them, and you have to be okay when they happen, because they will happen, and you need to be prepared for it. So, you know, if, let's say you don't have the financial wherewithal to go ahead and do that, but you have it in your heart to really take care of a senior dog, go ahead and be a forever foster, you know, like leverage the, you know, the goodness and the ability that the rescue has to help support, you know, the dog financially, and just be there for the dog to love it. You know, you can really make the situation work for you. But yeah, I think when it comes to senior dogs, you know, you got to have the right space, got to have the time, because their bladders may not be able to, you know, hold it for, you know, 8 hours. You know, you're getting up in the middle of the night a lot of times, you know, especially when they get older, and you definitely need to have the funds in order to make sure that they're taken care of properly, because the last thing you want to do is get a dog and then, you know, be a neglectful owner. You know, you can love the dog, but then just also not be able to provide, right? I think it's, you know, you got to think with the heart and with the head just a little bit, you know, not just for yourself, but also for the goodness of the dog too, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point as well, because I think many times people only have the heart, and you're like, but if you don't have the stability to then also provide, like, that's, I think, a very, especially with senior dogs, as you were mentioning, medical bills, that kind of stuff. You got to be, in general, I think you just got to be ready. And my last question for you both, which is my favorite question, is like, because I kind of already know what you're going to say, because I know you both. But so when you have adopted, and you both have, and I mean, you know, Angela, the joy of just, you know, your video says it all, I think, already. But what do these dogs give you? Like, how have they changed your life, and what have you gained from this beautiful life of rescue?
What haven't I gained?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, they just make my day every day, even when they're annoying me, even when they're demanding, even when I'm frustrated and I feel like I don't have the patience for this. Then I look over and they're doing something stupid adorable, and then everything is better. So I think the love that dogs, the unconditional love that dogs have for their people, for their families, is something that you won't find anywhere else with any human animal. As wonderful as a human is, you're never going to find the same type of love that you would with a dog or another animal. So, you know, they give us so much more than we could ever give them in some of the most unexpected ways. And so, yeah, there's no way I could pick just one thing, just basically everything. I live and breathe for these guys.
Yeah, no, that's obvious. Yeah, it's really beautiful what you're saying, because Ricky Gervais, who is like one of my favorite people in the world, says that as well. Like, we don't deserve dogs. Like, he says that all the time. And I think that's kind of everything in a nutshell. Like, I'm like, yeah. And especially when I see horrible stories, or I've of course seen and helped a lot of dogs in horrible situations, I always feel that, like, what are these, you know, what are we even thinking, you know, like, so it's really beautiful what you're saying. And what about you, Jason? I know you know, these dogs change your life completely, but like completely, because you even had a really a very different life even before the dogs entered into your life, right?
I I had done, I played rugby. I was a bouncer in college. I